Well, welcome to the Australian Waste and Recycling Expo, a new type of conference for us all. My name is Scott Clayton. I am one of the risk consultants here with Drive Risk, and now we specialise in driver safety solutions, and our customers on average achieve between 50 and 80% reduction in at-fault incidents, on-road vehicle incidents. So today I'll discuss how this is achieved and provide some waste industry stats to back this up. Then finish with a demonstration of the very latest in driver safety technology, our machine vision and artificial intelligence, which proactively monitors and identifies high-risk driving habits. So Drive Risk are exclusive agents for Lytx in the Southern Hemisphere, and Lytx make the DriveCam safety program. In fact, it's the only program that Lytx produce. Underneath the Drive Risk banner, we currently protect more than 100,000 drivers today. Now, we operate nationwide throughout Australia, also in New Zealand and in Africa. And you can see some of the impressive numbers for Lytx globally here. And today, the DriveCam program worldwide protects more than 300,000 drivers from the waste industry, helping them to become safer whilst on the road. Now, the foundation and overarching goal for Lytx is to prevent vehicle incidents so that drivers go home safely every day. Now, when tackling this challenge, we looked at research into incidents and the reason for them and found comprehensive data from a fellow by the name of H.W. Heinrich, who looked at this exact issue. And he found by studying the root cause of thousands of incidents, he came up with this cause and effect safety pyramid and found that incidents are a direct result of actions or inactions taken prior, now commonly known as cause and effect. So his research found that on average, there is a 10-to-1 cause and effect ratio for every incident. So about 10 near misses or close calls for each incident, about 10 high-risk behaviours for each near miss, and around about 10 risky behaviours for each high-risk behaviour. Now, everyone knows how many collisions they have, their outcomes, but what about your near misses? How do you measure those? Well, you could simply use this ratio and say if we have 30 collisions each year, we must have about 300 near misses. Sure, but when and where are they? Who has them? And most importantly, what are the reasons for them or the root cause for them? And as for your collisions, your minors and your majors, how do you investigate the cause of the incident, the reason for them? Was it speeding, fatigue, tailgating? Was there some texting and driving going on, or perhaps caused by a third party? How about a combination of these behaviours? Look, fundamentally, if you don't know why an event or an incident occurred, you simply cannot make any effective plans or take actions or steps to prevent it happening again, which, as you all know, is actually required by chain of responsibility. So this is exactly what the DriveCam safety program does. We risk assess every single trip for our clients. We monitor for near misses and the high-risk driving behaviours which cause them. If any risks or behaviours are identified, we then guide our customers to coach and support their risky drivers to minimise any dangerous driving behaviours, thereby virtually eliminating at-fault incidents. So we use an intelligent event recorder. It receives firmware updates as needed via the 4G network, uses GPS technology to determine speed and location, works really, really well at night time as well, and is constantly assessing the road ahead and the driver, looking for potential risks and poor driving behaviours. And as I say, behaviours such as tailgating, unsafe lane changes, texting and driving, not wearing a seatbelt. In fact, the DriveCam safety program monitors for over 60 different driving behaviours. So I've got an example here of a near miss. Now, with the power of video, we can very easily see the root cause and the reason for the incident. However, no GPS system could explain why the sudden braking occurred, just that it did occur. You'll have to ask the driver why he jumped on the brakes, and how many of you drivers do you think would confess to what really happened? And you'll see what I mean in a moment. And whilst a dash cam would record this event, few dash cams monitor the driver, and even if the driver is being recorded all day, no one has time to look through 8 hours of driving in every truck every day to find any near misses. If your dash cam is not recording the driver all the time, then like the GPS system, you'll need to ask the driver why he jumped on the brakes, and you'll often find out just how creative your drivers can be when explaining their harsh driving. So in this example, the driver is doing about 60 k's an hour, and at that speed is travelling about 16 metres every second. Our driver here has his eyes off the road twice, for a total of just a tad under 2 seconds. Now, as we only record the drive for 8 seconds prior to the harsh driving trigger, he may very well have been looking at his phone for several minutes prior to this video clip. What if it had been raining? Or he's drifted up to 65 or 70 k's an hour and increased his braking distance. He's clearly not focused on the driving task. Now, if this behaviour is a habit for the driver, eventually he will miss the braking point and be at the back of someone, ruining several people's days, including his manager back at base. So the point here that is, unless you know why something has occurred, only then can you understand the incident and actually do something about it. So next I'll run through some stats on driving behaviours amongst our waste industry customers. Now, these are mostly near misses and obviously the reasons for them, and covers all of 2020 year to date, so actually until the end of October, so 10 months. But before we go through this, a question for the audience. What do you think is the most common bad driving behaviour we see in the waste industry? So this is reported from our business intelligence platform, and some very interesting information here. Now, I've blocked out our customer names in the light blue rectangles down the bottom for obviously privacy reasons. Now, firstly, we have risk assessed just over 500,000 video clips from our waste customers so far this year. And whilst the volume of our captured video and our risk assessments, of course, have gone up by 28%, even in these COVID times, risky events have actually come down by almost 40%. Risky meaning a collision leading behaviour was identified, like tailgating or mobile phone in the hand whilst driving. Also, coachable events have almost halved during the year. Coachable events are not risky or collision leading behaviours. Most often they are breaches of company policy, like not wearing a seatbelt or smoking if it's prohibited, or going too fast over a speed bump. So DriveCam is capturing more video, but less and less of it requires action and attention. This is a direct result of customers supporting and coaching their drivers to change these behaviours, and the results are very clear here. A 40% reduction in risk amongst our waste industry customers year to date. Now, another interesting point here with this information is that whilst 8,500 risky events in 10 months may sound like a lot, it is only 1.7% of the 500,000 video reviewed and risk assessed events that we've done so far. So overall, drivers in the waste industry are pretty good, especially when you consider that a lot of their driving is done in tight suburban and commercial streets. Now, here I've got more detail on the reasons or the root causes for the risky and coachable events. And again, there's some very interesting information here. So from the beginning of the year, distraction events down almost half, driving fundamentals down a third, awareness behaviours have also halved, and with just 4 fatigue events across the whole 10 months, fatigue is clearly not an issue in the waste industry. And whilst the total numbers here may seem alarming with 47,000 driving behaviours that we have identified, overall behaviour frequencies are trending down. And again, this is a direct result of understanding why collisions and near misses occur and enabling our customers to actually do something about it by coaching and supporting drivers who have a few bad habits. Now, the last piece of data I'll share with you today is a snapshot for the month of September this year, and the coachable behaviours DriveCam has identified amongst our waste customers. Now, a few slides back, I asked you what you thought the most common driving behaviour is within the waste industry. So as you can see, the most common bad driving behaviour we see amongst our waste customers is not wearing a seatbelt whilst on the road and the vehicle's moving, which unfortunately make up more than a quarter of all coachable events in the month of September. And now, also unfortunately, this is not unique to the waste industry. We see this as the number one behaviour across all businesses that have vehicles out on the road. And as you can see, it occurs more than twice as often as mobile phone usage whilst driving. The second most common bad behaviour we see is less than 2 seconds of following distance or tailgating. And with 236 times in September, or nearly 8 times every single day, it's a significant issue. And note at the bottom of the red square there, driver unbelted other. This is a combination of being unbelted in the yard or the depot, in a parking lot, or at the landfill site, for example. Nevertheless, drivers being unbelted in a moving vehicle is a major issue. It's probably the number one issue that facing transport businesses today. Now, the last thing I wanted to share with you today is a brand new feature of DriveCam launched in July this year here in Australia. Now, our machine vision and artificial intelligence technology has been operating in North America since 2019, beginning of 2019, and it has uncovered an incredible amount of previously undetectable high-risk driving behaviours. Now, earlier versions of our event recorders relied on harsh driving as a trigger to capture an event on video. Then my team would watch the video, do our risk assessment, and look for collision-leading behaviours. If discovered, report these back to our customers for them to coach and support the driver to change any bad habits. Now, our MVAI algorithm, with a very high degree of accuracy, is constantly monitoring the driver for 4 high-risk behaviours without any harsh driving triggers at all. Now, these are driving with the phone in the hand, not wearing a seatbelt, smoking, or eating and drinking. And since the launch of our MVAI technology in the States 18 months ago, we have uncovered an incredible 4 times as many high-risk driving behaviours as before. So if we reviewed 500,000 video events this year, next year, the same drivers doing the same routes, we'd be reviewing over 2 million different video events. And in the interest of time, I'll show you just one example here, which is a 2-minute video, albeit sped up, where our MVAI algorithm has detected all 4 high-risk behaviours. And as you can see, this driver has very little focus on the task of driving. No seatbelt, he's smoking, he's having a drink, and has got the phone in the hand. Now, he may be lucky for a little while. However, with driving behaviours like this, eventually he will be in an incident and may end up killing someone or even himself. Also, early next year, our MVAI technology will be expanded to include things like unsafe lane changes and tailgating without any harsh braking or swerving at all, and as well as a few other behaviours external to the vehicle. So, no GPS system can monitor for these behaviours, and whilst the dash cam is recording all the time, no one ever looks at the footage until there's an actual incident. And by then it's too late. Someone might be in hospital or worse. Excuse me. So for more than 20 years now, DriveCam has been purpose-built, constantly refined and improved to identify risky driving behaviours, then help our customers to coach and support your driver to change these bad habits and behaviours. So thank you again for dialing in and listening. We have a tremendous amount of experience in the waste industry. Like I say, more than 300,000 drivers in the waste industry using the DriveCam program. And we understand very, very well the challenges all businesses face when their employees are out on the road, and importantly, how to help you solve them so that they get to go home to their families safely every day. If you'd like more information of DriveCam, how it can help you achieve a 50 to an 80% reduction in at-fault vehicle incidents, then come and look for us within the trade show area of the conference. Thank you again for your time today, and have a good day.